Hey guys, I'm here to talk to you about why the Ultrastar discs are actually better than the Whammo Frisbees. There are a few reasons why the Ultrastars are actually a lot better of a disc when actually playing Ultimate Frisbee than using a Whammo Frisbee. First thing, Whammo itself actually has the rights to the word Frisbee, which is what most people think of when they think of what we call a disc in Ultimate. So Whammo itself has the rights to it, is why it is called a frisbee. It's actually two different things between a disc and a frisbee. So it's going to be more debate between why a disc is better than a frisbee. Um, First thing is going to be the weight. There's actually studies done that it's not the same weight as what it's said on the frisbee, and then on the Ultrastar. Second thing is going to be distance. You can actually throw it farther with a disc than you can with a frisbee. Third thing is going to be what most people don't think of as price. The discs are actually cheaper than the frisbees, but it's a lot better quality of a disc, anyways, than what the frisbees are made. And the fourth thing is going to be accuracy. They actually have studies done with accuracy in an indoor field, and so there's no wind to actually change the way the frisbee flies. So the accuracy is actually a lot better with the Ultrastar as well. Um, there's a reason that the weight is different as well. And Ultrastar, what is done is they actually put the plastic. It's a different density of plastic, and they actually insert it through the center, and that is actually distributed evenly throughout the disc. So it actually creates a more even throwing pattern. It's a lot more even weight on it, and it's 175 grams. It's going to be the actual weight on that. On the Whammo frisbees, they actually put all the weight in the rim and then make it very thin on top. This allows that wind can actually adjust where it's actually going a little bit more than what it can if it's more evenly distributed. And actually, it states that it's 175 grams, but actually studies done have said it's actually closer to about 170 grams. So that 5 grams can actually throw it off a little bit. Most people think it wouldn't, but it can actually throw it off a little bit. So because of that, you can actually get a little bit farther with a Ultrastar disc than you can if you're throwing with a frisbee. So that's the main one of the main reasons that the disc actually changes. With that, it's also going to be distance. So if you have a frisbee you can throw farther, it's obviously going to allow you to do more things than you would if you had a disc that doesn't allow you to do this. So it's actually shown with the same person. On average, he threw it 15 yards farther than he did with a frisbee. That was actually a study done at the University of Florida. They gave the guy 100 throws, the exact same point he threw it on a football field. On average, he would actually throw it right between the Ultrastar. He would actually throw right between 75 and 80 yards. On average, with the Whammo disc, the Whammo frisbee, he would throw it between about 50 and 60 yards. So it was a little bit, it kind of alternated a little bit, but like I said, there's no wind, nothing to actually throw it off any. So as far as that goes, the studies done there at Florida were actually proven that you can throw it farther than you can with a Whammo frisbee. Um, the next thing that follows it as well, like I said, accuracy. When they actually gave them targets, they actually gave them 5 targets. They ran it through 20 times, a similar test done at the University of Florida. And with that, and the 20 times on average with the Whammo frisbee, he missed 2 targets on average every 20 on the 20 times. With the Ultrastar, he actually averaged out to miss less than 1 target. He actually only missed about a target one every about 3 throws on the Ultrastar frisbee. So the accuracy was much greater, and the targets were actually at different distances. So it wasn't just one certain distances. It was actually a greater at all different distances as well. So that is one thing as well that just makes the Ultrastar disc much better than the Whammo frisbees. And as well, you actually cannot use a Whammo frisbee in any USA Ultimate tournaments, any sanctioned tournaments that they have. The official disc is the Ultrastar, so that is the only type that they actually use because of the performance, and they want it to be on an even playing field. So that's the only disc that they actually use in any USA Ultimate sanctioned tournaments. And then into that, the price. The price is actually a little bit different. You would think that because it's a better disc, that the price would be higher on that, but in actuality, it's actually lower because they don't sell these in very many stores. They don't have to go and put more money into it to send it to some of the big box stores, so they can actually sell it straight through online, and it's actually a little bit cheaper. It's about the same price to make the disc, but it's actually sold for cheaper because they have to go through a middleman with the Wham-O frisbees and send it to stores. It actually makes it to where they actually lose a few dollars, and it's actually about $5 more on average, according to a survey taken amongst all the big name stores in the country. It's actually about $5 more for what they're selling it than what the Ultra Stars can sell it for online. So Ultra Stars are only sold in very few stores. Some disc golf shops is what they're sold in. So that's the only ones that are actually sold in store. And they actually keep it at the same price because they try and keep all the Ultra Stars at the same price. They don't cut competition between stores to actually get it for more expensive. That being said, if you were to look at the Wham-O Frisbee and how it originated, it was a great Frisbee to start off with and get the sport kind of going. But as basically any sport you get into, you're going to look at how it can be bettered. It would be the same as in football and basketball. If you used a basketball of lesser quality, then they're not going to use those in an NBA game. Same thing with frisbee; they're not going to use a frisbee of a lower quality. And in the years to come, possibly they may actually adjust and change from the Ultra Star to something of different caliber to actually make it whatever is the best thing out there for the game is what they're going to adjust to. So those are the four main reasons that the Ultra Star is better than the Wham-O disc, the Wham-O Frisbee. I'm sorry. And if you actually look at the production line, Wham-O is actually losing a lot of profit on their frisbees as well. So what they do is they're actually making the prices go up more. In a recent study done at the University of Alabama, it's showing that the Wham-O Frisbee is actually going up another $5 to try and support what they're losing due to the Ultra Star company. So, and a technically fifth reason, it's actually going to go up even more in price. The average consumer of the Frisbee is a college student right now. So if you look at what they can afford, there is actually not even really a question on why they would go with something that's a less quality and more expensive. So in my personal opinion, I believe that Wham-O will be going out of business soon as far as with the Frisbees because it's just not going to be something you can compete with and up the price to a consumer that can't actually afford to be doing that. Frisbees themselves actually don't have a long lifespan. Concrete will actually tear it up to change the flight pattern. Another test was done actually after hitting the concrete 15 times. They only did it 15. It wasn't very many at all. It actually changed the distance pretty dramatically. On the Ultra Stars, as I recently posted about the distance that they did, it actually went down to about 50 to 55 yards, and 100 throws was the average. In the Wham-O Frisbees, it actually went down to about 40, 45 yards. So it actually changed it pretty dramatically on the distance. Accuracy itself was pretty even on the accuracy, but the distance, because of what's actually catching in the wind, was changed a pretty dramatic amount. So that is one thing to look at as well. So just kind of recap again, like I said, number one, the weight is going to be different because of how that's distributed in the disc. It actually is posted, and it's actually a little less because of that. Number two, it's going to be not going to be able to throw it as far because it's a little bit less weight. You're not going to be able to throw it as far. Wind's going to be able to knock it around. Even though there may be not anything, a gust of wind coming at you, when you actually throw it, there is wind that can adjust, and it has to break through that wind. So it is a little bit harder for it to do that. Number three, accuracy. Like I said, accuracy done in the studies, it's less. It's a lot less with a Wham-O Frisbee. And number four, the price. It's going to be more. It's going to be cheaper Frisbee, cheaper than the Frisbees. So it's obvious, a no-brainer on that. You just have to order it. It's the only thing tough. So I hope this kind of helps you understand why the Ultrastars are much, much better than the Whammo Frisbees. It's kind of been a debate out there for a while, but if you actually look at the facts and the studies actually being done now, because they were trying to overturn the fact that they were using only Ultrastars in the tournaments. Whammo got upset about it. So if you actually look at the facts, Ultrastar is the better disc for Frisbee. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope you understand why I like the Ultrastars better. Thank you.